Adesmama abononsia ya mamu nyina to. Omemu nsam ni ama wodo so de ayensaka. Ane yaboabu anu atu din se anwumre no nsia kase aba ye ne yetiefo esi hu nkonya. Utie free peace. 104.3 FM so okay. 101.7 neat. 100.9. Nimi ansa wo sepa o Sabeka Johnson Accra. Enwati hello. 101.5 FM wadum Kumasi. Ghana man tem yadu nsia baby a wote yenkan. Kasa fidie be sediesie num ni ekire kwamonone a be sediasa. peacefmonline.com ghanatoday.com nso abode etiefo benya bi akan. Die di kase bonimu akutini bini.
Oswafo ya wo hwe agya hoden wonsam so wo man Ghana mo yewura John Ginapone animdifo e wo fango mo ahia ni gnada e fa ne atwe ne te Middle East aman esom. Ghana and St. Kitts and Nevis at wonsa ahyenti ase apamase.
Deep bonds of friendship and solidarity between Ghana and St. Kitts and Nevis. We have reaffirmed our shared commitments to strengthening cooperation in trade, investment, health, education.
Dom kuma yo butu wa my Ghana mra shebedwefie na etu aba ne fo se wonsi gina ebetimi aboa na akoko akuafo ho etimi atowo mo.
Yira omampani mahama bosa ose akuafo eno na wodi.
Esi ade yenimu ade so omanfo akire se kroma ya depa ne nyina ne se inflation atem aba 3.3% nei yede mu nchemu eba besomo chiame hene wo my Ghana mra shebedwefie kasa wo che se nche kra wo gusu a wo si gina se parliament wo dwumedi a wo di no wo betimi ede aben omanfo.
We created new departments such as broadcasting, public engagement, media relations, and citizens bureau, which were tasked to open doors of the house.
Ekoya wansha basi CDD Ghana wadi a waka ne sesi ane Ghana ha ansa na paasi yetu abamo nipa no na chise osika semu odunti wasirasi ya shishemra ebetimi abo wechi edom ene nyumre nsempi na ka wehu na yesi nkonwa yade esomom ma yemfa seda ema enyumen.
Osons chemists at the Osons Gale capsules. Immune system benya hoɔden akwatia nyarewa yade nka wonto formula. MTN network ne so de say Ghana fa na baby a obekobia no MTN ewo ho. High sense Ghana tiatia mu nyina. Home appliances ya papa edisiesi efie no office ho ne yetofri. Dolphin roofing system na boda so obebo so mu wanya akomatoyem. Oyine yire spices media ne ye de say eno na wodwa so. Lawson na or the Lawson local Mr. Aba or Baba Virgin Anthony a friend Dr. Virgin Divine Hope Herbal Center or Tia Herbal Powder a year when the soldier so. Said me koya da uruma and say aman sign tia me kwabena mafo ana.
Ohine wa kase bo ahine na afi.
Nana ama ano to four. Afi kase no nchemu eni.
Na ene meeting bi ekoso na ye putupru pa. Ayo manfo ni mesam dada se funtum wo sa abatatene. De ekoso ewa America ene Iran fo ntemu a Israel fo nso ka wo bienti. Ama de ba ko a wo bi ebo hu sujetire aye fanwo. Ye beda kura na enya petro de bi egu ye ka mu akwaduma. Wo mu eso generator, wo mu use de ya de ewo mpotempote machines. Ye beda na enya bi. Ebinom nso use diesel, ebi so use gas. Yanyina will be at him. Entiana, Minister for Energy and Green Transition, Dr. John Abdullah Jinapo, Atun Safre Wonmu Sonta Krate, Ewo Amwadinia Munina say, Wamre, na one to Atwajene, Ampa in Simudiano, National Petroleum Authority for Omduasia Yo Okoye, Boston for Ekoye, Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, Wonmuso Koye, Oil marketing companies, OMCs, Womu Adwasia Yawayo, bulk import distribution and export companies, Womunina Ekoye. Na Asambay and Womokoka Winsi Mudian Wasi. A Jampani said you are then a cramine were in the Tetramasua Buenti. Penia Waniaman said in Kitahon, our Minister of Energy, Richmond Roxon. Ọbani awurade asomdie nka wo.
Yeah, so.
Na bibia abọkọ de.
Jenya to bibi aboko na we.
Yo. Na enansiamudie no ekọsan de na moka ho asem. Yanka yakoma nto yeyem wa ho.
I mean share with people na me started with assurances from government and the Minister for Energy and Green Transition. The Advertisements will be Akan Tony. The last few days in Middle East. Middle East talk about big issue. Now we share Middle East the whole production or impacts on what happens in the global oil market. Now, unfortunately, so far, nothing they see on it, we say it will definitely have an impact at a point. Now, as a country, minister, any abiding issue, kind of stakeholders, will never come. Share groups are more interest in oil production, any imports as well. We get oil refining, we share BDC, we share OMC, we share Post Energies, we share company which is GNPC, mobile meeting, nothing. As our meeting, downstream petroleum sector regulator, MP, and presenting updates on fuel like tanks by average we have about 6 weeks of fuel in our tanks. I don't know, over 350 million liters. Beyond that, so what we also have for anchorage, for liver friend anchorage, we share near at the country now, and also so. Which anchorage
Bra empata sa wotimenka hello bra sa wotimenka ye ya etiefo aya so tie wo pa nti ma oneno mra soro kakra
emba so kakra we dey sorry so we share anchorage there anchorage na we are about 160,000 metric tons of fuel product omemu more vest so you got a show I already saw on discharging fuel products. Now beyond that, so the number of vessels you'll see for the minus already and so LGB discharging. Overall, we share your full security at all mine. You need challenges here, but by no after now you need challenges here, but by me cost I review and making sure that they share private one by any problem here.
Na ayi enkomo tuti enum no aside the ababedru ha yi a ya poso na wo kan say ye show no ho
we can say anchorage if ye poso na ye show no anchorage ni say in there ponano pepe no I already say anytime they are already discharging for product
na ayi wo mo so a memfa ne say the abedru yi esa womu krabie no womu aya arrangement dada womu so de na kwan so ba
be arrangement that product the large in the country no your imports no in free Middle East so largely for Europe Rotterdam any other place in Europe but we don't expect any major disruptions in what the supply will be Akan to the MC be very fine.
And to not say a sad year ya see wo ya se bom wo mo tuguo e bisa rocket ya wo mo tuguo e kan ya batten senda nkan ya bebrebe bia ya crafty ninti
minya eno na waka no definitely you said me kan no it will have a global impact. That's a global impact. There are several ways which may impact. For example, OSHA cost BBFN insurance, and that's the cost of freight here. Vessel or car or car on which say once you have this challenge, the cost of freight, a bit me akosho. Insurance premiums should be me akosho. So all those have adverse effects on the market. But say barrier supply or my musadia, it's a share by that toward the Minia will be a fuel at all times within the period. Now ministry, so minister my directive, the Rema MP said they should keep monitoring and ensure say Abrabiano will have first-hand information of what is going on and will provide updates to government to ensure that consumers will be protected and there will be availability of supply.
As I said, the Wutri, and yes, a posonore fair no be costro insurance and so be costro. And you're none of one so, yeah, will move back to my and on so be costro no.
I mean, early days yet to make those decisions. When you say you'll be there for the pricing window, but soon we review the pricing window twice in a month. Your first of the month and the 16th. You look at the average cost of crude oil pricing on the world market. Now I share cost of finished products, petrol and diesel on the international market, and you look at the exchange rate as well. And, that will be the dynamics, and that's what will determine what the price will be. So when you do with beer, depending on the factors, the price will show. You do with beer, depending on the factors, the price will show. And so those are the things that will influence what the prices be. And, if you what the averages will be. And you're correct, say as we speak, ocean crude oil price on the international market are starting to show because of what is going on. But the dynamics in the oil anytime, and you will keep monitoring and then see how it goes.
Where me fa kwanya so abo abaso kakra ayi ye frawa no pewie numero fitibra asem ba nyina woji yeso why ade pa why
yes that me fa kwanya and that honorable John Chidapasi on the direction and the ministry and as the government say what as the ministry has decided to do at all times be my man for take a communication drive never was show so that at all times in Chimubia or remember for yes here that is a bring or my akunya any for any listeners
yo ya da sepa etiefo we ye pani a woni amansa di nkita ho ewo ahwodene aso ye your friend no Richmond Roxon
ma yanto kase ne so ye ko edom kuma ne nchen wo my Ghana bran sebeje fie edom kuma no ka kire aban yi de odi animu His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say propaganda no atwam onyai na koko ne bo no awate so a ama koko akuafo ye wo ma homtie asabi wo munya hwene kra no wo ma himuo no won san so fa bo no enko dada no ema wo mo na wo muntimintu anamon se de se na efata bese ebreka kranie ena edom kuma no asore enam my Ghana ntwe so ahodo ne titiru ene bia ya yedo koko ne bin na no mo hyase ewo apoye mantemu ene okoduru ba bi ti se eye ofo ase aye bi no mo gina mu ewo ho omo korura mu kade ene ne mpotemu ene koko akuafo kodi nkomo ewo omo koko afuo nim tena koko na se bo nkomo ma koko akuafo bi nim si apene ka kire wo mo se de abane di wo mo no emunye de na kire eya wo mo no mo di nkomo no ade ba akwa koko akuafo no sere dom kuma ne yese wo mo so mo nimpa se dom kuma no se aduasa me no mo teche mada so o betumi aye bibi e de aboa wo mo kosuso jangu aban no chem na koko ne bo no won san so mfa nko ni 3600 ene mpewa no eguso no emfa ma wo mo so oni bibi fufuro bi aye e de ma wo mo a esanse enteso no a aba 2500 ne de emu eya pa e de ma wo mo eno ena aka ho bi ama edom kuma no emma ni titiriu de wogina mu ewo akuapem north abato empesia so orumanyafo sami awuku wobrekra wone eye minority whip Ora Frank anodom pre edi nkomo no waka che koko akuafo ne se montomo bo ye ne aban no ekasa na emom de edi kan mo to amane aban ne se ne ru afi ne ho a ebre na no propaganda aye campaign no atwam koko buo no onsan fanko 3600 eni akiri
When I was a papa last week, so now I'm the one man of beer, and then the enemy might be one. If you are not me, one, the cocker, or you create or you cook farm. Really say, you're a man, Penny Mahama, that's how share ekuafoɔ no ɛno na wodi so wotie pii no nea ɔmo ka ɔmo sɛ nea nana adokora de ma wo ɛde gyaa wo sɛ wotumi nyɛ hwɛ mu ɔmo a saa ɛno ama yɛ. I just think that the NDC should move away from the propaganda. Don't see any ekuafoɔ no ka wei no mɛmɛ mfa nyɛ ama ne ɔsɛ ɛnyɛ NDC MPP asɛ nanso ɛdeɛ de pefe sɛ abatoɔ wɔ nsuo.
Wei ɛyɛ onumanyamfo Sami Awuku Kapo. Wokɔ akuapem no ɔfa abato mpɛsua so a wɔno ɛne wɔn mmra sebedwani. Na asɛm no asi yan pɛ ɛna agya akuafo no bi enya akwan ɛne yedi nkɔmɔ na wɔn kyerɛ sɛ hwɛ ade ne mu ɛyɛ o. Emu ɛyɛ papa. Wɔn tena sɛsɛsi a sese kura no a ɛnɛ yi akrakyefo beto koko no agye koko na wie no. Aban no ka no mframam si entua sika ne ma wɔn. Na nso wɔn sɛ beto saa abere sika no enu wɔn nsɛmpo na nkampɛsɛ wɔn akan.
School fees, teachers training, school fees, all the things that are for us. Sagana has a chief of your son, you ma, you show your ma, go show your ma. They want to see your better they use school to see it, or come back and you check. They also have a cement, that when you have so we go for a program here. When if you are through but they give from and said and say, yes, I will show, yes, throw a man, yes, bread, didn't know go for your bread, honorable, maybe a throw. But what you have to talk about, I did man, yes, Rano, but they never use school. Who go to one? That they never just and about they want to, which are about to me.
Wei aye koko akuafo ni bi ene ete wo mo enka no wote se wo kasa no wo se honorable wadamo kokwa chairman pani se kwa ye bibrem koko akuafo ye brenti se onfa koko ne bo ensan konachi 3625 Ghana cedis na wo beto ye no ofori krom abaton pesa so no asebejani oka edom kuma na ema na ho wo mai Ghana mra asebejafie wo brekran edom kuma na kan wo ho bo mu ekọ koko akuafo na so no na wo ka ho bi onumanyafo Michael Kwesi Edu enso gina edom kuma na namu kache koko akuafo ne se omunya abotere asema wo makan wo maso mu twetwe na wo ne mampani be kasa e won kan hei ama mampani atiase na wo meka kasa ne boko wo mu se mampani ankasa ne du ba bi ne wa ama wa asem ne mu anya den a wonte nti wo be ma no aye no mbebo mampani tuja kopem se koko ne bo no obesan de akonachi
I'm here by a commercial bedroom. So now debate national CNN. The Becona Yaka debate Yaka in summer a help your farmer Ghana food at Omoa, the Ombedi cry at Yamom, Omoma Bobusa, Omunti Entia, Coco Clark Foa, Omu Johnny from Ofi, Epidem, if we say Omuto Coco Bua and a Bono, Esote and Abano, Ama Omaboka. And yet in some net to say a how be brain I day about Yakia for Siaba, your mamma Nitia, Mote or my friend, the Nananum so Akan, and Yache. Inti na me aduma ya kodun kan ya ye behwe ne aka ho asem ama Ghana fo nyina ate sania ensem no esitie ne how deeper issues netie if we say bebre enti ase
wei aye onumonyamfo Michael Kwesi Edu Oya dom kuma no eba udu ofori krom abaton besia so wasante mantemu a eho ene obutu Emmanuel Akole na fa William Gain to obekra edom kuma no ebo eye apro no na wo muka ho bi ye to akase ebo so ade ni kyerem wansefo froso bedom nkasa ho dwumedi akoso nkrapomponi mantem nam so e ma chiame hene obutu o my Ghana mra shebedwe right honorable abansima na Kingsford Babin wegina simpie ni apaso akasa na ne dia wode to dwa nyina ebusua wo kanetiawa se mpempi no my Ghana mra shebedwe wo dwumedi a wo di no me ma me ye wo samra boy sem won hyeda ntiase ni otia ne se MPC NDC na afeso MPP akwa akopie mo parliament na afi wo wo mugina ye obete Mr Speaker dia ne koba ye na afi ye debate wontia CNTC anom wo guso a wo ye hihya no wode nsane be ya parliament wo dwumedi ahodo wo di nyina anom wo betimi achemu nkumankuma na afem wo bɔ amane ye akire omanfo na wetimi atiase speaker se sa ye so nti wanya abotre pa ema sisiade woni chemo my Ghana mra shebedwefie se ya office nkumankuma bi wo hodma watete ebi ye broadcasting ebi ye media relations so na ebi ne se wo behwe etimi abo na afi woni wo manfo ahie etimi edi nkomo na wachi am dwumedie potia MPs wo mo ye e wo my Ghana mra shebedwefie.
And we have to change all our standing orders, create many more institutions. And I think that is serving us very well. So we restructured Parliament by building the planks that must anchor a decentralized institution. In this regard, we created new departments such as broadcasting, public engagements, media relations, and citizens bureau, which were tasked to open doors of the House wider for ordinary citizens to enter. And we must thank ASEPA. ASEPA supported us hugely to achieve all this.
Speaker Manensi one man was in prayer ye kasedi akobane se dwumedi a wo mu di wo man Ghana mra hyebedefie so amanfo anhye dan tiase dia ya na gidie se fanfa ye betimi aye adwuma no wose ya na mpempi ne nhye dan koso.
Transition can help realign citizen expectations and clarify the distinct roles of members of parliament, local government officials, and development actors. It fosters a more participatory democracy in which responsibilities are shared, governance is localized, and accountability is strengthened at all levels. When legislative power is decentralized, oversight becomes more immediate, visible, and tangible. Citizens can hold their local leaders directly accountable, promoting a culture of transparency and ethical governance.
Ania yokoti echi amehine wo my Ghana mra hyebedefie right honorable nankasa yera Alban Simana Kensford Barbe na no si mpenifo se meko manke bi yemfa nkasemti local government minister Ahmed Ibrahim Kasai and watch se brimu di enhyehyɛ mapa wo moye no nyese bia parliament wo na to mu na mmom enhyehyɛ na wo moye ne se temamufo ye wa grounds no adamusafo na ye ntehwe asefa no parliament wo dwumedi a wodi no ye betimi aye nkyerɛkyerɛ mapa dia ma yen entu nim se anye bia wo MP we die wo kwa kopiem wo parliament a ne dwumedi a wodi na bosse se ne sitie enti wo kosa bia wetimi ade ama no.
If resources are allocated to the MPs at the local level, what are they meant for if not service delivery? Finally, institutional distance compounds this distortion. When parliamentary work is physically concentrated in Accra or the national capital, when citizens see MPs performing their legislative and oversight roles, what they see instead are the visible projects funded from the share of the common fund or personal interventions. Mr. Speaker, this skews accountability away from lawmaking and oversight towards material provision. And that is why MPs will leave Parliament and be lobbying for projects.
Ania yekoti yera Ahmed Ibrahim wono eye local government minister sansem we na yenua bema Emmanuel Colley William Gentu ne tro ya wode besom yen
na Ghana mampene His Excellency John Dramani Mahama woni Ghana hanum se wotu kwa aburuchire na wokwa akoye adwuma wo ho na bebi a wokopie ye eye womaya ya fra ne se a Republic of St. Christopher Kits and Nevis ana ukopie meetings ya hudu bebre ekoso but we de wo mu koye kokoa mu de ya wo ma mo nsamtrafo anko obi enti obi a camera ne microphone an capture bibia enti wo mu wie ya no ana Ghana mampeni bon nsamtrafo amane so meeting no a wo mu koye ye no ho kakra no wo pone de akire wonum na ye wo agreement bi enti ase apam dada bi omo asem kena ye visa obi pese otu kwa akọ St. Christopher Kit and Nevis ya nanka nipa kro no sika wo betua no omo ateso kakra ye 2018 visa waiver omo asem kena asada atenso eno kromo omutitemu obi a wokura passport wa ba akubi yase afra no facilitating tourism a trade business exchange and people to people connections ni nyina ye visasia anka wodi betu kwa akwasa abia no omu asakire mu kakra afi eno da ntan a wo send nkitahu bi a wotre se ye betumi de yankofo akọ na wo makọ ye adwuma e wo saa oman no so na wo mo ebetumi de wo makọ bie eye nursefo ye ne ye wo bebre wa ha ti ye betumi a supply wo mu bi ene ye saa wo teacherfo bebre wa ha ye betumi de bi akọ ɛna other technical expert bi te sɛ artisans ne ade yɛbɛtumi de bi nso akɔ aside that nso wɔn san ɛde wɔn nsa sɛ ntease apam asɛm baako mmiɛnsa yɛfrɛ ne sɛ memorandum of understanding no ɛyɛ aman mmienu ntam o deɛ di kan wɔsɛ consultation mechanism between government of the Republic of Ghana and the government of the Republic of Christopher Kate and Nevis. And we say, Omu aside that, so, and visa ya semia meka ye, and also Omu to church and home coma. And a bano a manual summon swa, and Kitaudia betumia kosa my minu entem. And a medical professionals yamidin kaka, yes, ye bet to me to be free her. Adi alcohol no so and also wakan huasem.
Our exchanges have been cordial, forward-looking, and reflective of the deep bonds of friendship and solidarity between Ghana and St. Kitts and Nevis. We have reaffirmed our shared commitments to strengthening cooperation in trade, investment, health, education, tourism, culture, and multilateralism. We also recognize the importance of enhancing connectivity between Africa and the Caribbean, and will continue to explore practical steps, improving travel links, and having structured dialogue through political consultations. Our discussions today reaffirm our common belief that Africa and the Caribbean must move forward together, guided by our shared heritage and common aspirations for prosperity, justice, and sustained development. Remain committed to implementing the outcomes of our discussions and to sustain the momentum in the Ghana, St. Kitts and Nevis relationship.
Dear Yati sir Okase ye Ghana Mampini, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And what in what say African Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum no. Any Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Sir ye fasa kwanyami ni so. Niama ejadie any nkitahodie sononko ekoso wasa amayi mienu entemu a eni kwanse yedidi agro kra afei efiri sabre de ko anyonkofa eda Ghana ene St. Kitts and Nevis fo ntemu nso ye ba besem kena ato abasakom na de mpuntu aba. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Sabo Prime Minister Adrius leadership abaso say waya de pa wo say sansemudie ya wo mu ye ya 50th regular meeting conference of heads of government of CARICOM and was St. Kitts and Nevis no waya de wo mu ema bibia kokama afi prime minister no osabo na baso bio wo senkitawudie sononko a ekoso ewo Ghana eni wonum ntemu a enani agye ho pa ohese free sabre de krono umbekoswe nyankitawudie bebre.
Platforms such as the African Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum, ACTIV, African Continental Free Trade Area, offer immediate pathways for us to expand trade and forge investment partnerships. Our ambition is clear: to position Ghana and St. Kitts and Nevis as model partners in South-South cooperation. Honorable Prime Minister, I commend your leadership of CARICOM and the successful hosting of the 50th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM in St. Kitts and Nevis. Ghana deeply appreciates the opportunity you offered us to address CARICOM leaders. Ghana recognizes the vulnerabilities faced by small island developing states, especially in the context of climate change, rising sea levels, food insecurity, and external economic shocks. We stand in solidarity with St. Kitts and Nevis in advocating for climate justice, equitable access to climate finance, and reform of global financial institutions.
Dear Tisa Okase ye Ghana Mampeni, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Yenya Salamati Kukua Pinto.
Ghana Statistical Service and penny for any year kasa. Yen train one way. Ye tria husima near by a bar, ye betuaso.
Peace FM.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury and luxury paint. No be any painting be paint. The Lozi acrylic paint. Paint me champion. When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the Lozi acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint. The Lozi acrylic paint. Paint me champion.
Peace FM.
Tune it in, turn it up.
Peace FM.
And rip off the knob.
Ghana Statistical Service in penny for any year Casanse. Say, and near my boy, ever fem papa. A chest of my Ghana inflation, baby, agent and crunchy womb. Was in print 1 year Cassain. A dear boy, said the SCF who shine at the other bedroom pempens will be a yaconuntia who here, so was all my Ghana need this year at TBN. Say, 3.3%. While Obe Pombo Sumino Emuno near 3.8%. And penny for say 150 and yet do no ebako at the bepim and nay. A few musabo sumi pan inflation above from pa. A son say 150 and yet do no ebako. Inflation no eba from our bedrew 19.8% and also crown penny 42 powder say yama woman nay ye. Na a nay no was it a no chirino, na a cockacra, na jemu, a cockacra, na jemu na way dear, a barbeto from wheatam. Dr. Alhassan Idrisi any edin komo and a watcher say, we no en shada and yes, I was here Timitra and my and Yamamu yedin and my yen who. His son said the Eka edecono, and was a buffon palm will be a who be a one bottom and an insem. When he sent Johnny Abdullah Dasmani edin komono, say and what kind.
In February 2026, Ghana's year-on-year inflation rate was 3.3%. So on average, prices in February 2026 were 3.3% higher than they were in February 2025. In fact, this is the 14th consecutive month of decline and the lowest rate recorded since the rebasing of CPI in 2021. On a month-on-month basis, inflation was 0.8%. In simple terms, prices increased by less than 1% in 1 month. Food inflation slowed to 2.4% in February 2026, down from 3.9% in January 2026. On a monthly basis, food prices increased by 0.2% between January and February 2026. Non-food inflation, however, rose to 4.0% in February 2026, up from 3.8% in January 2026.
Afe eniema ye to ayede ani hu ni esomu no eno so emubuo no ate aba from 3.2%. Na no wo January bosumi no emu no na ejina 3.7%. Eya waniema bi wo ho aye nhunu na emom ye de ehu dwa eno ye services. Mehia wo bi amana ya ade ama me sa de kode ni mesomu a enye yie oye wie nso a esefata se metua ne ka eno ho inflation nso ejina 3.7%. Na no na ejina 4.2%.
When we look at goods versus services, inflation for goods slowed to 3.2% in February 2026 from 3.7% in January 2026. Goods make up nearly 3/4 of the CPI basket, so this slowdown provides relief where it matters most. Services inflation also eased to 3.7% from 4.2% in January 2026. Looking at the origin of products, inflation for locally produced items fell marginally to 4.5% from 4.6% in January 2026, while inflation for imported items declined from 2.0% in January 2026 to 0.6% in February 2026.
Afe bia mo ase o my Ghana ye wo mantam na makomako edunsia ene etie bebi a ho ne mefo ene bebi a ho ne mabo edin wo ko ba bi ti se Savannah regional sesei wo se ene mabo e wo fom papa inflation no eye 2.6% e wo ho eno kran de na ye na no February busumi ye ba bi ti se atifi apoye mantam North East region ene mabo edin papa ejina 8.9%.
Inflation remains uneven across the country. The Northeast region recorded the highest year-on-year inflation at 8.9%, while the Savannah region recorded negative inflation of 5.6%. This means that whilst prices increased on the average by 8.9% in the Northeast region, prices declined by 5.6% in the Savannah region. On a month-on-month basis, Greater Accra recorded the highest increase in prices at 2.4% in February 2026, while Western region recorded the lowest at negative 2.7%. These differences reflect variations in local supply conditions, transport costs, and market access.
Dr. Alhassan Idris, a government statistician, on Abdullah Dasmani, enedi nkomo
Ekoya wan sha base wo my Ghana mu ye CDD Ghana wane ka se wo se bia hyase ye trinity wo my Ghana mu enye krabehwe nti esi an wa hyase a wo twere ne se a wo ka ho asem ye ne sase a democracy egusu a ye ka ho asem no anhwe ya na mfa so no manfo ntime enya wo se be ha adwene pa se ye amanyosem pa wo Ghana ha ne edi sika ewurawura mu denchi mu ye che TV ye che fridge ye che koshia ne meko na afi ye che sika de wo se koba ne sa ne ye koya na se bayem regional forum for a draft model bill and no one more year dia for political finance in Ghana programs officer Edma CDD Ghana Thomas Oti Frempon ne central for din komono and was this here and chisa wa won pen no kreka chisa wa won pese obetie no kre no wo hwe my Ghana mo antene so pa dia amanyosem ne ene jai sisi ade asika nkuto sabe wote honom na wata so woto achia se ya wotwu ti se amanyosem pese oye bia eno sa nipa no wo mre kra wotwu wuti utua kakra bia eno an se di bread ya de ahya wonsem se nipa ne se won katew se won motew na so wonsem wo bi nkuto de ya de hya wonsem na no opani wo kasa wo kirem sem ehu behia so my Ghana bra so se ebetimi esi nkonya so wo man yato ye boa se etintim mra ebeboa se ne be ya amanyosem ya ye wo my Ghana musika pewa ye komo ye betimi hunu wase wo ka ne se ensi yen ya ye omanfo no so yenya kukudro bra ne pa na ye nkyere ya dwene sem political party asimesi anase bi enhyehyɛ ma pamo fa so enya sikadi o se ne sitiem wase yakoba ne se beboa papa ema Ghana nipa so sem wo mbetimi apre di bre no woni bi kura sabe woni dama kapre bakura betimi atwuti se wo kwa akogina na de bia de ye ne se sabia nipa o mo sika nko a ene betimi ayi amanyosem dia wase be ha dwene
sikasem ya afaye kwan ye faso ya manyosem enti ne sense no se yehwe sika political parties and politicians edi wura amanyosem mu a kwa na ekosoro enti yesusu se ewo se yenya emra a ebeboa ama kwan a political parties efaso enye sika ene kwan mfaso di sika no di dwuma no emra no ebebo ho ban enti ye no ne butaya ye hia hanom yakuchire emra kakra ede agu krata so ne yebagye enipa adwenkyere ede afa saa enema ye de agu enkrata no se de be ya yebetumi edi emu
Openi amanensi one man was in prempren ya work as a Ghana democracy no sensi ano etwe ne ho nkakrakra ekoma woni asebe won betimi etua enti se Ghana say wo pesa wo pre na ye to so abasem rahye bedwani a chise okura wonsam 4 million Ghana cedis no obisa kosasa anya bia bebu na wesi so hwe abrante bi ti se Dominic ye pesa wo pre sem rahye bedwani sa sika ye boss wo kofefre he wo se ba ne sa wontimi nyeda
yɛhwehwɛ mu a yɛyɛ no free 2012 no yɛhu sɛ na sika no ɛkɔsoro ansa na abɛtumi agyina MP kura no na wohia bɛyɛ 124,000 Ghana cedis ɛkɔ 2016 elections no ɛna ɛkɔ bɛyɛ 235,000 Ghana cedis ɛkɔ 2020 general elections ɛkɔ 4 million ansa na watumi agyina as MP so obɛwi ni anaasɛ obɛlu so nso yasɛm enti sɛ wohwɛ sika no a ɛbɛm no nyinaa no a yɛanhwɛ yi a mmerɛ kɔ n'anim no ɔmo a sika kakra ɛwɔ mu bɔtɔm no ɔmo na ɔmo bɛgye yɛ na madwasɛm no abɔsoɔ.
Enti programs officer the CDD Ghana Thomas Oti Frempon no siye and deputy chairman Edma National Commission for Civic Education Victor Brobe Kasan was say adiane die yasha se aye kan se asa gro ya me yeni amre pa de bed ye sanse esi an wo my Ghana manyosem nankase ye ya eye nia ne nsem wo bi woda fam se kumwa a sebe wata so hwe ni dia e bed den pass de brobe timi aprebie.
From the US to the UK to Ghana, the issue of how politicians raise money, what should be permitted, and how that impacts your political system is one that many democracies struggle with. So it's not anything to be ashamed of that we in Ghana are also struggling with it. But it's important that we come to grips with the issue because in our case, as the research has shown, it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Enti Deputy Chairman Edema National Commission for Civic Education Victor Broben Semno no omanfo asa adwumedie wode wo ho hyemu bi so ene yense ntwe ne apia dankwa din komo
ehwe yen neighboring country ya Nigeria kra wo mra wode yeden what this is political campaign. Na Ghana yen to me yadam embrane be yen found to yen wondo. Odo elections are wa cause son normal wadama mankrofo, and the blame must also go to Wakan. Them nkrofo was for on delegates, you know. When we are all at risk. Yen market coins was so normal the common one youth. Yeah, better now was youth groups. When we are all
Yacher cra Yambo Konoma is yen party summon on the politics or you are GC.
Enti bedroom nkasa ho dwumedie ya CDD Ghana hyehye ye no manfo bi ekwase e na ate se woni yense ntweni apia dankwa edi nkomo a na wo ka wonsem
na awrade ya adomo a edafiada na Ghana enye mfensia eduasia nkron 69 years na sa 69th independence celebration ena ho frama bie ebo wo bebieni ena womo ye cultural heritage day celebration wa bra womo boaboa womo ho edi independence day na one executive director National Commission on Culture Ora Workford Wisdom Akwako eka se sa wo hye Ghana sisi ya especially mebunu no a ya culture pa de womo atoatene baby o se connected pa said ye culture ne ye values said ye na sitie akwada ho pani a wode ne die ma no epani ade ne die ma akwada first kura akwada ate akonya so na se pani ba no wa sori na pani aba betena wo mpanimfo odi nkomo a enkwada enkonkogina ho first kura mpodi esa wuti se obi awu baabi a beti so obi awu no obi akura ntwamu wo ho na hu se ye wa mamra na eya akonopa na ano abra Ahmedia school ho a obi awu a yadeda no sa bent na ya sese na ye defuni da kasi so no ye beti kukuru ase we de emu no peso osori ana kukuru omonko pantam tumame yan ha enkwada abaye nso an wo mu se ayi no akonya na ase no omu di agro ewo ho ehu bia enka wonum esuro bia nim epani mu akwada mu pani indiscipline ana atu atese ewo mia wodo nyina eko school mu kohwe enkwada bitumi ticho boy teacher no mbetina no mu abono student no mbetina no mu abono obia mu obia mfu obia anya hwe en wo kire se enti Ghana pa baby a yedro nie wo say ye culture said ye na ne fesitie ya nanka eboa ama nkofu eframa no ne eba behwe yembie but duatia na muye ye betumi ya sa peja na nkakra na ye culture ne ye values no ya san enya no bio
America ho pa se de enso amamrem e ka ho pa ntina ene Ghana be dia eye no se yetimi so amamrem a nyama ti se galamse eni se de mprewanyense ni sa nyama no eso betwa kakra da enye se nyama no so betwa keke be bia pempenso na yedu no ye pese mabunu nya ejuma be ye wa ho amamrem no se a wo hwa awiase afra na nyina aba fro fidie ya friend social media ubekwa kohwe so no na obi ka se Ghana amamre se na eti ubehwe na enye nokre wa ho na se anka emebunu tumi so mu yie na ye kire se de amamre no ti a aka won so benya bia ye
Executive Director National Commission on Culture Ora Workford Wisdom Akwako Nana Kojo Somiaya watosu mienu oye abakuma hine ewo sefsi amiaso traditional area osaye wo hene ewo sefsi ntakemu ono anso enwo ye ewo kojina president ema National House of Chiefs osaye Parliamentary ema sefsi amiaso traditional area oje ahwohwo ya ojebi ne kasem no wo kire se emebunu a womu ewo Ghana ha mami yamma amanonefo sedi womusi eyi womu niyama no embedidi ma ha yene ye bibifo ye tuntum and womu ya brofo womu tumi ye bibia womu pe ye ne ya ha no anya saa ne ye de tete yen ne ya beka se na child right na human right nkwada ye de womu pe obi amu obi a ese da bi entesa osra Ghana Education Services say ebetumi a ye quarter ane ye festivals ya ye die ni nyina yemfa nse ya de sua humam ni yemfa nkyerɛkyerɛ nkwada no
I don't know, in fact, I'm going to boss because I don't know, say, to me, Cabebrea, a baby new home, or Shania, and they are young pan, in fact, and what dreaming. Titili, no, or dog is slow at the papa, the order to two and lady who, in fact, is the same Sanquachi. It's Messer Mabun say, you are muy biano or Momala form. Now, you're not animal diano. Yen sign and cofa because I don't know what's on yet. Limdie, a chadie, we yen papa pra, we or bar, we yen papa prama, or Walem, and I saw Walem. It's best to say Mabun, Bia to the boss, na near the Yasuano, Bia and fat. Lay I say, Obi who will cry, ye in the bra, no one yam, what will be Suano fee.
Nana kojo somiaya otosu mienu. Oye abakuma himahine ewo seksi anwiaso traditional area osaye wohene ewo seksi ntakemu wono an wodina president man National House of Chiefs osaye Parliamentary chief message anwiaso traditional area oje ahoho ya otebia wotoso mienu anemu a okasa ye na bebi ani anwiaso bekwa municipal chief executive Honorable Sebastian Wobeng ana wode be tuaso wose de di kan enipa a woto nsafre wonu mu a woba ye nyina woda wonu mu nyina se nananom penifo asamre memes woda mu nyina se pa etre se obia pese Ghana ye culture no etumi ejina na adese e wosefi anwiaso ene nimpotemu nso otumi fa wontuma pa efra obo mra sebedeni no abaso akate wonum se we ya hoboabo ya wodi bedi Independence Day celebration.
Mr. Washe ya kasa MP na this wadi hu a oye campaign okaye say oba obeboa ama bebie ni independence no ya in festival kasa last year the chance here this year so said the mama hu no na ene ye cultural heritage na hwe said the timamufo no bebre na aja tum no ma ba beboa ma program na kama e be do mo ase na kakra America ne say da bia Oliver o say ope bebre aka ho yeguso ye bodawuru timamufo no so fa mu hwem na ya bakosem na wahane enton ma wiase nyina hu if say ye nyina ka bo ma ye oton no e na de wo ba bi so beti ase
some way baby any amiaso bekwa municipal chief executive Honorable Sebastian Wobeng na yenia ewuku ato Western North region
ma yanto akase bono so en wiase nyina dokotani kese baako a nipa bia ewo se ohunu no na wote na adwuma ase no waba bepiem ewo man Ghana ha sei woduru baby te se Germany a Charity University ya eno ewo Berlin ono ne afre na se Professor Dr. Peter Vakozi ne dwumadi a wodie no ayese Brano kompo ya eba nipa minimum no otu eho anamon afei nso yade a yefe ne se brain tumor no a eha nipa ewo ne tirimu no eno so otu ayemu anamon pa sa German neurosurgeon yi afi bia enkrofo brain tumor ya wo ye mu surgery ma akoma be sa pem afi bia emu ma akoma be sa 100 de ono ankasa ene gina operation room ho etu emu anamon wo sha adwuma wi ase be se afi mpemienu ene enso 2007 wo bre kra obo ne PhD wie ye ene wo hunu se nipa yeti wiase ye nnuane a yedie nneema ahodo bi ade afrafra nrom a ye nom no eka ho bi etumi ma ye kompo nenso ya adwene enko ho sa ene wakache Ghana de sie nyina se wo sey ne ada ugusu didi nkakra na wote se bibi twu minimum ho na ye wo ya tutumika ko aresabia na mpanifo enye nhwehwemu enhwa adekode potin ya akofo sa emnimu ya no ede aba o se ye ne ya se efi 2007 ya wo fi ne dwumedie ase no wa hunu se nipa bia kompo no be ye kese aba be hono ye kofo woni minimu ho na afi de obu ho operation ni kra ye na ankwanko ye ya na je se nipa no ade no ho ntepo kakra sha se ne so wa mia ene be hohunu ba be ye kese a aginsemo enti wo besere se woni padua no wani nku hu edi firi wutiri no saa be fi okon no a esiso no se bibi kakra bi to sini wote yaw kakra bi a bibi dane kakra bi a enye ntena so o se bo anan e company fo nche na eno ene be bo.
For the goiters, I think it's like worldwide, the question of sodium, iodine, the drinking water and in the eating, that's one point. But for the large goiters and the large hernias and also lipomas, I think it's the question whether people really think they have enough money to pay for the treatment and with all the resources which are limited. And the question about payment, I think people come late. And that's true for all over the diseases you have, I think. Definitely. I'm impressed in this what you did here, and especially also I'm impressed how Dr. Adai is advertising the early diagnosis and treatment of breast cancer.
Nipa yetin kan oya German neurosurgeon Woodrow Charité University ewo Berlin, Germany. Wano director of neurosurgery department no ewo ho. Oboni PhD we adwuma ba kwa wafa to ne ho so wiase afa na nyina se obeboa brain tumor na afi kompo obehwe na watumi aboa. Ghana ha ba wo baaye no wone aresapia ba ko a obo akokodru fo ba ko ne da no abra no obo apomudi mu enkomo Peace and Love Hospital. Wone wo mo na edi nkita ho na wo mo nkita ho no kokodru se nipa binum wo Ghana ha kompo ha won papa na eja wo bo anamo ya wo baaye. Ba wo bae no wa ma mekasa akwa nipa binum wo kompo oni Peace and Love Hospital eka won tipam ho no enkrofo binum wo mo kompo no wo magigi ama wo mo ama se wo mu da ho wo ma wo mo special ice si asidi wo mbesi anom no wankasa balance be wuram wo ma mo di sweet chocolate drink sha wo be num bi ankasa. Dr. Beatrice Wiafia de ono na da Peace and Love Hospital ano eni sentrofo edin komo.
Enye ize so betimi enya bisa mana baso ba betra ho no abaye cases aboa. But ye who say yet se wo mo ye bibisa ye Germany aban no ehhehye enti yanso ye de krata akoye se ye pese omoso beboa yen bi no kreni na minim se goita etisese the level a ye hu crofo no na minim se sanete bi wo ho a enye goita nko a bi wo ho a ye ne broni friend lipoma eni ejai amna hye baabi aye kese abroso cheze baabi a na bi hyehye no se aye belt wo nipa ne kon ho a obi asuro so de ne sabeka because ye kon ho no vessels se wo ho no ehu
nipa yetene nkan ono ene kofare bai ayarasabia ye fene se Peace and Love Hospital ya eno ewo Kumasa Santemantem wono eno oni German neurosurgeon ni etna se di nkomo kan se omra Ghana ha se na Ghana di hye bi ewo kompo oya ba atan wo hu a na eye na homte. Dr. Beatrice Wiafia de jumedie no ase no ye senior reporter chef Samson Kenya meche woni ade hye ni bi a penifo aye wo operation ayi wo mo kompo asese wo mo kono special ice mineral water no edi nkomo.
Yare na ba de be 5 years muni na wo kitu wewi nti ye wa na ba afede na chese ayekesi ti mo wa na mebla frame se matise amrofu bi ba o Peace and Love Hospital ti ba na mde man do sem to no ni onso okay me ko efele form men ko scan gidie ne de na ewum ne so na ano no nyashi but me ba enso de se wonu si Jimmy Tumo on my idea na ma me ko abro me na ma adwene me ntiase so because na me nyini da se sade we betimi asi amono timi aye sade we amana de won ma se de nyame asipa
ya de ba me chinye na ba somo ebu 15 years me chinye mkasta no me chinye bu se so be do apel almost wo metumi aye o ma ya ma me aside ya me dia me kenya ka last cent Nimuna say dinner at the form it. Medium Mr. Pompo be never from them. I just mean Pompodo. Say a young Kabukumi, a young Kabukumanga Sankasa.
When you this year be a doctor bitis you have there any German doctor near or no a winning dear at the far compo and half a brain tumor and no. Say Ghana this shall wire mumu a you were more compound a b any a tea warmer and can Samson K. Yamiche. Chef, yan central near Obutu a year hello FM Ewokumasinadama and what the sun send me as soon.
Yet, what has your voice ready and each was some for frozen penny for a can was some as a we are simu you to one in a one cast somewhere ye baby. Now, when you mark quiet, then say will be an into Gaga dear bidia, it was your walk, na walk, ning and same. Say, and nano pay and care being shame yet to honum, and now 1 year chip plantations near Dano, a bitchy bunono, a bisuche cocono, kama, woman and tidy of my share cocoa, any tuntum, one way bria bidia, one more benina, ye young co, ye near bre, ye yin tumna dear Nelcosway, see a 2 of my gun and not sabim, will beat me to the boissy signa ye, a bonny sim din tro and try no ding woman so dear, woman's woman shank can once my behadrene, sans a gun of 1 year to us, I yet somewhere sink back, which them said their bed didn't say, ye bed your tomb, in Tim one and a piece in central for ye bisa so a day at the end year, and almost when you say beer, woman ni brebe bromo bre pa de mayen, none what da woman to one social media so, and when yan and tear videos a who be a choke which I say, Sabe plantation snap, one more chediama this year what Ghana nom, one more Neapolitan bags, and a dig one once, one more sense a bordiano, and the gum say, ye would differ, ye ni pabon for, ye do Ghana for, ye citizens of Ghana team, ye the padia ma Ghana sia, ye general man for na pomo de one someone sa, ye si sejina yanom, was here nun tisia same, wouldn't power ni board, yo come chrome samra boy, now kwa crab or dear begua so, me babache plantain chips ebusia some no casem, e swamu say a fitiano paco see you nipa bakwa nasa no mabakran to be shaman castle, as me see anasa ko benting, plantain chips in me to being in same, sat mukani trimopobia, a man for who social media so same, one of the politan bags net chinti, I must see a dread munsem will be same, ne capital crow this mukrano, sickening in a yasam, into a dear peace FM, yan ye casa just a compo, young one with the runcher or man for same, one more dear plantain chips now, one more channel, what do Ghana for the do, what Jenny a hodo, one more ya bad time tino, one more yadia can be so, a bequetiam, was a yamu in Shannon. Why 1 year any pabon for na sabim, one with the politan bags national, one with your bones a kukumu, and who machi the sum, no more the catch, then so 1 year, one more year the papa quanson, be just ready to one more ban nessim, bordia swamo, and waka home, and stove in as if we're in aka home, me who said na woman nominate Patricia, no mijina wadoma, chesa one more chinny petem say, I know aka home, one more chinny petem dear myself, young shall quanya, one more fast to one more diano, one more dear so need dead grew. To a best Ghana and penny for a woman shas ye, and Sijina yem, Sandy Pabon for no Musha Kukuma, Sebio, a Bushamunimam, one the robber, and a air plantation, ye bet me a sewer Jumediana wood in a coin.
It's a no we are in Yabone. Plantain for Greater Accra from Kaswa to Jowulu Association. I'm a Yaba plantain. Mama who study it here. You create a difference between the rubber and the non-rubber. Me pacho yam for rubber to plantain. Ye jenamudi adansi yama plantain for say. Beyond for rubber, ye won't be that. So be the rubber at your plantation. Social media, they are not young. Me who say addicting can. I want to send one. Me should be social media. Nipa nechi wakwan. No be say video rubber. It's baby. Our channel, a public viewing place. It will be Chama, oh, who's a rubber the man. A banner son and for Sajina Auto. Intia, your Jumana conform cry. Ghana phone him see the rubber and a chip plantain. And so now rubber and a chip plantain. Yeah, for rubber and chip plantain. A bin sida.
Abusianti lead convener Edema 1 year chip plantain chips at Tom Ghana say Sawote and Wakasa and crying any Caslan City Caswa for and TFN Mavis of Sunti Nay, Wombe PM or PCFM Yenim Hano, Woman de catch and send your modiano, send ya no cromu chia city ye de and 1 half a plantain boardiano, yet you try Diego Womuviano, and one more sounds yet demonstration illustration chair same 1 year and paper what the boardiana and I say, woman the politan by Gumuno, one more chia, yan woman the say etetare hu bi eno so aya na mpempi na hye da anya gregrew wo kana egra ma wo say obi wi bi wo menim na vendors ni bi ni peace ka se bodi nkomo kire se ne enti asisi ana ama hu ahia so wo mo ka ho asem ne se edin so obekọ ekura na se kotu bode aba beton na sansem wenti isi amanfo suro so ombeto ade eno enti na wo mo ka ho asem yi
started planting best 17 years. Me who de me nu be the village shoulder. And sin me to me di wa dancing kade. Obi de cho na me fan chip. Walking here the enyo about to form. Ni ahwehwem ahwe de bi no de chiwa. Ni akache won de wenje because plantain ya chiwo baby or ye pete.
Ni le dua mafia manyagbo. Anyela disa me plantain atom le fia 25 years ya. Half my chief in your banto because I have a katana G in Ferrocolaba concert be comic for Pomonana. I never do a woman Avani Ban. You a buying a farmer. Like a madam was your clear washing on. Walk a rubber wall for me. For no, you can malano for me. A woman, Tashina, and work as you walk a rubber shioni, Jano Qualeda. I am Noniano, a Malay.
Let me for Robert Maya and Che Adia and Tom Microphone and so any and a sigh a little bit to me. The American say, yes, I am my Lordina. As I was selling my year, our Mayu and my good traffic and why I planted checks the Shayama. Any I know 2 4 as almost selling my year.
And she planted 4 years and then a quack a rubber she planted. Planted or you echo, walk echo, or be echo, or come a fan echo, when you were fena kind.
And you know what in your child to an old can cry. When you're with na kind, yanny, yentimi, yes, ada. And now what tea say, yen you and my before walk our dear, Mother Cuckoo, just a woman patchow. Chief was so can one with the end, what tears here. I'm a hunter for a man to a dear Cadiano, Mantamo dear, but the same woman you now will be actually an adrian, was woman dinner crescent some way na. Yen you are Bema Prince Baffa, some more papaby, and now what Tony was a troublesome yenty a best of month for say. One was woman dear in your politan bag down. Woman dinner cray, Edima woman form. My yenina was so na yen train who's my yabania cabetos.
Peace FM.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any painting be paint. The luxury acrylic paint. Paint me champion. When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any painting be paint. The luxury acrylic paint. Paint me champion.
O jam no Nancy dia wo jiwani as a confidence level so as a kosro pa
I was a manager if it's my friend Mr. Kill aye be man kasa wa fa meme dro Mr. Kill aye be memua enya fe na wo be ye hu debate tell him
hey na ada no fan World Cup sir
That's all moi. Mr. Kill, ya my friend. My memua. Case closed.
Miss me person me Berman Kasa. Enti menya Mr. Kill ni buanyato.
Mr. Kill, our pharmacies, herba, and over-the-counter medicine shops. Dudua, Kokunlun Ghana Limited, East Legon, a Champo Junction. For 0244 139 176. And 0204 139 176. A member what do you feel doing what today Kronkwa and the Mr. Kill. FDA AG Ejedi Nkratoyatum.
Imagine making or collecting all payments without leaving your chair. Sounds like magic, right? Nah, it's Stanbic Pay.
As the Chief Financial Director of SBA Holdings Limited, payments from clients flow like magic through Stanbic Pay.
From school fees to utilities, government and statutory payment to investment, insurance payment, Hajj payment, and more. Just log on to Stanbic Pay and you're set for life. No Stanbic account, no queues, no stress, no last-minute panic.
Cherish your time and live happier in safety and convenience.
Just visit stanbicbank.com.gh or call 030-340-9212 or 055-676-0683 to get started.
Peace FM.
Tune it in, turn it up,
Peace FM,
and rip off the knob.
Yama yetiefo akwaba kase bono esi. Amansan tiame kwabenamafo ana.
Nana ama anotufo enafe.
Ohine wa kase boahin.
Na yade asedama Osons chemist or the Osons garlic capsules. Immune system benya hoden akwati anyarwa Yadeɛ nka wo nto fam da wobɛyɛ adwuma nya mfasoɔ bebree ɛyɛ Oceans Garlic Capsules. MTN network ne so ɛdɛ asorobo a wofa no nyɔnko a wokɔtɔkorɔ nka soro da MTN baabi a wobɛkɔ biara ɛwɔ hɔ. High Sense Ghana si yɛpɛ nneɛma papa siesie yɛfie ne yɛ office deɛ na dwosio ne hɔ to America nneɛma a yɛatete so a ne boɔ da fam a yɛ papa nso na tobi fa kɔsiesie obiara ba obɛhunu sɛ w'ani abie. Everyday price for everyday people. Dolphin roofing system na boda so. Say dan ya baako anase wesi abom do sopo wobɛbɔ so kama. East Legon Trinity Theological Seminar opposite ubɛhu Dolphin roofing system. Oye abaya dwuma yeni a ebetumi abɔ so ama wo atete ne nkakra ɛdan no afe. Dolphin roofing foa 0543661716 Ohine yere spices meduane ye de se aduane bi a wo ye de ama adehye se ye nipadom efiefie mu de restaurant monte so ohine yere spices no ye de stew ye de soup ye de jollof chicken, beef, spaghetti, fish, enambia ne ho de ewom. Ohine yire goat season, ohine yire shrimp, ohine yire beef seasoning, ohine yire noodle seasoning, ohine yire ana oma yeti no mu ankasa. Fra 0207 805398 0207805398. Lawson Herbal Center at the Lawson Local Mr. Abba. Na Dr. Lawson wankasi a friend of Virgin Doctor. Oba ubedimu ayo obesima besiesie ho eyi nkaboni bia de afiri ho eniti abefie. Eye Lawson Local Mr. Virgin Doctor. A man and member esiesie wonum. Per Lawson Herbal product ni bi ewo pharmacy miamia wo do aye ton ro bia obenya bi. Ope dudu etu a obe fra 0248 619999 0248 619999. Divine Hope Herbal Center and what they Otia Herbal Powder Abba. Ye bibi super effective. Ye kasa ade ni ye super. Na tese ode kan ya pe neko. Sisi yade waist pains. Bema anaso oba ya usisim ehye wo. Koto Otia Herbal Powder ebetu ase. Obi akoko hanadene pa. Koto Otia Herbal Powder ebetu ase. High blood pressure and also ebetu ase. Bema ne tedie mu aye mre wontumi nya se ewompem sexual weakness epatokoto Otia Herbal Powder. In fact sembi wo ba bi a wetu ase a enkwa kotobi watenka ewo fom stroke ejejew ulcer obu nsa obia beto nka dabi Otia Herbal Powder na obeti wakaginamu. Pharmacy Herbal Shop amantam ni nyina ebi wo ho na mom se wo pedodo etu a 0591 565 557 0591 565 557. Abusiafo ya damase ama momoniti a Awurade asomdwe nka mo